I'm ready. Oh, hi, Glenn Kirschner. Oh, look, you're wearing your glasses like you do on TV when you're reading some important legal document.
I want to see you clearly, Steph.
It is so nice to see you and talk to you because
we would have been seeing him this weekend, actually.
I know.
Yeah.
DC sexy liberal.
Killing me.
Yeah.
Killing me.
Yeah. But we're rescheduled to the end of July, right?
Yep.
I can't wait.
I can't wait. I know. Oh, I had such a hug for you. Now it's going to be a koala hug. Then Mrs. Kirschner is going to be like, okay.
The virtual
Social
hug.
distancing.
Virtual hug.
There you go.
Enough. We just had Representative Val Demings on, and people like you that already have such a love for the law and justice in this country, like she does, like you do. Can you believe this impeachment was just how long ago? Where, we had Adam Schiff standing there saying you cannot count on this president in a crisis to do what is right for the country. He will always do what's best for him. And this is just another version, right? What's happening right in front of our eyes with him. You've been tweeting about it, about favoring certain states, and we need a favor, though, basically. Need to be nice to me, need to show appreciation, right?
Yeah, we've got to finish what the Republicans in Congress and the Senate wouldn't finish, and that is in January 2021, we're going to get after these people. There will be a Trump Crimes Commission. I don't know what it's going to be called, but look, I've got Have Mueller report will travel. I've got the Mueller report
let's do it.
right here.
Okay.
And this is a blueprint, Steph. This is a blueprint for the prosecution of Donald Trump and others. It's all right here, and it's going to be left up to us in January.
Yeah. That seems like a good name, Trump Crimes Commission. And you in charge of it sounds like a good idea. But so talk to us about the DOJ. You obviously tweeted about this. You said DOJ turns over unredacted Mueller report to U.S. District Judge Reggie Walton in D.C. per court order. Stay tuned, everyone. So tell us about that and what we're going to find out and when.
So there was a FOIA request, a Freedom of Information Act request that was filed by a couple of organizations, BuzzFeed and EPIC, which is the Electronic Privacy Information Center. So what they said is, look, Bill Barr, you redacted out a whole bunch of stuff from the Mueller report that we, the people, have a right to see, and we're going to sue. We're going to bring suit under the FOIA laws to try to get at it. So that was filed. Judge Reggie Walton picked up the case. Judge Walton is a lion of the federal court bench. He used to be a federal prosecutor in my former office many years ago. Then he was appointed as a Superior Court judge in 1981 by President Reagan. He was reappointed a Superior Court judge by George H.W. Bush. He was appointed a federal court judge by George W. Bush. And then he was elevated to the FISA court by Chief Justice Roberts. I mean, the man is pretty much seems to be a tried and true Republican. Not that that should matter with respect to the judges, but it gives Trump one less thing to complain about. And Judge Walton, in what I found to be a remarkable written opinion, said Bill Barr is unworthy of belief. And I've got his opinion right here. And here is some of what Reggie Walton said, Judge Walton said about Bill Barr. Now, mind you, he didn't say these things about, Weinstein. He didn't say these things about Bernie Madoff. He said these things about the Attorney General of the United States. He says, and I quote, the Attorney General dubiously handled the public release of the Mueller report. The Attorney General attempts to spin the findings and conclusions of the Mueller report. Barr's characterization of the Mueller report has been contradicted directly by the Mueller report, and he concludes Bill Barr lacks candor. Mm-hmm. That is what a federal court judge said about the Attorney General of the United States.
So what happens now, Glenn? I mean, yeah.
What happens now is the unredacted Mueller report. And listen, Steph, here's one page of the Mueller report, right? Yeah. It doesn't tell us a whole heck of a lot, does it?
He's holding up redactions for those of you just
Judge
listening.
Walton has the whole dang thing unredacted now. And what he's going to be able to do is see what's under those black bars. And he's going to be able to tell the litigants in the FOIA litigation, BuzzFeed and EPIC, whether they are entitled and whether the American people are entitled to see what's under all these redactions. Knowing Reggie Walton the way I did, I tried cases in front of him in the 90s in D.C. He will do the right thing by the American people. I trust him 1,000,000% to disclose to us what he thinks we're entitled to know from this Mueller report.
What is the time frame, Glenn, for that?
So I think he said he's going to take some time to go through it, and we don't begrudge him that, because this is a hefty report he needs to go through, and he needs to make some decisions about what we're entitled to see and what might actually harm ongoing investigations. So let's give Judge Walton the time. It's going to take him a few weeks, and then he will turn over to BuzzFeed and to Epic, presumably. Then it will promptly be turned over to the American people by those news outlets, what it is we're entitled to see in this report.
Glenn, basically what I just said, you tweeted, I know the governor of Michigan wants ventilators to save the lives of Michiganders. I need a favor, though. Again, what was it? I read a Lawrence Tribe tweet earlier that I keep asking you about. When is this criminal? I mean, when does it cross the line? I mean, you've sort of been talking about it, tweeting about it. You actually defined for everybody. You said involuntary manslaughter equals 1, acting in a grossly negligent manner, which 2, poses a risk of serious bodily injury or death to another, thereby 3, causing the death of another, causation defined as an act that is a substantial factor in bringing about death, just the facts. So I think it's hard for all of us to wrap our heads around the amount of Americans that may die through his incompetence. When does it become criminal negligence?
I believe it is criminal, and here's why, Steph. The President of the United States, when he steps in front of a TV camera and he provides information to the American people, we are entitled to rely on that information in making our own behavioral decisions, making our own healthcare decisions. And when he told us for weeks that this is a hoax, that there are only 15 cases in the United States that will soon go down to 0, that the warm weather will clear this up, and that, and I quote, it's about to disappear like a miracle. Steph, when he tells the American people that, some people believe it, and they make their behavioral decisions based on that information. And they went out and they contracted this disease when they didn't need to. And now some will die as a result of the president's negligence, stupidity, and callousness. That's why this has crossed the line into criminal conduct. Now, what would a trial look like? Charges would be brought, and the president has every right to defend himself by presenting expert testimony from medical professionals and public health professionals who will say, no, the president was telling the truth that it would go from 15 to 0 cases. He was telling the truth that it would disappear like a miracle, and that the warm weather would completely kill this virus. Let him put up those medical professionals to testify about that. And please let me cross-examine those medical professionals.
Well, some people have already died. The people that tried the, what was it? What's the name of the drug that he sort of, that might work. That did that without a doctor's supervision. Husband died. The wife was in critical. And she begged people, don't listen to him. I mean, and then Rudy Giuliani, let's listen to this, was out doing the same thing yesterday on Fox. A couple days ago.
This is crazy. I wanted to bring to your attention Dr. Zelenko's report. I hope you saw that. 669 cases treated with the hydroxyquinoline and the Zithromax, and he adds zinc to it. So far, 669 cases, 5 hospitalizations, 2 intubations, no deaths. And we're talking about a large number of people over 70 years old. So I'm going to keep a close track on that.
We're seeing great results.
Again, without a doctor's supervision, and people have already died. I mean, there's word, Glenn, that people at Fox News are worried about a class action lawsuit for misinformation they've put out. Twitter shut down Rudy from tweeting that. These are drugs that are not approved yet, that people are doing without a doctor's supervision, right?
Yeah, and I don't even want to make a joke and say anybody who takes medical advice from Rudy Giuliani gets what's coming to them, because you know what? I don't want to paint with a broad brush and say anything derogatory about all of the people who listen to Trump, follow Trump, credit what he says. But here's the thing, Steph. The American people, those people who listen to Donald Trump and watch Fox, could reasonably believe what they hear and act on it. when I say reasonably, it's not surprising that if that's the only thing you're exposed to, President Trump's daily campaign rallies where he yells at reporters and tells America what a great job he is doing to kill this virus, some people, I think, could rely on that. And they could reasonably rely on that because it's the president of the United States and it's Fox News. And why shouldn't they rely on that information? We know better. People know better. But as a result, they are killing people. They're putting people in harm's way. That's why they will bear legal responsibility when it's all said and done.
I mean, we've all done the analogies. Then we're all trapped in the same car with this drunk driver. Half of the people are like how scared the rest of us are with the way he's driving. We're all going to die. I mean, you said, to be clear, Americans are suffering and will continue to suffer as a direct result of Donald Trump's incompetence, malfeasance, and stupidity. The only remaining questions are, one, how much suffering, and two, will the next administration hold him accountable? And then you go to it legally in your next tweet. You say Trump's conduct is decidedly different. He reportedly ordered the withholding of necessary medical supplies from Michigan because of his personal animosity toward Governor Whitmer. While Michiganders die, this must be investigated as potentially criminal conduct. I mean, once again, the layers of this, right, of just, that you have evidence, as you would call it, right, of the, not just the NSC playbook, but the pandemic response team that was disbanded and the HHS simulations that were exactly this and said they were unprepared. Him ignoring intelligence warnings again. Same story, echoes of everything. Russia, Ukraine, all of it. Listen to Putin. Listen to Z this time instead of our experts. And here we are.
And the evidence of criminal culpability and criminal liability by Trump and his enablers is pretty clear, and people will continue to suffer. I think the biggest question that I have, Steph, is will the incoming administration have the backbone, have the fortitude to do the hard work of holding these people accountable? Because if they don't, we're going to see more of it in the future. And if they don't, it will be doing a grave disservice to the American people who have suffered as a result of Trump's behavior.
Yeah. I wanted to get your take on the so the DOJ and Securities and Exchange Commission looking into several lawmakers who made substantial stocks trades in advance of the market crash caused by the coronavirus pandemic. Central focus, of course, appears to be Senator Richard Burr, who said he relied solely on public news reports in making his investment decisions. I know one other legal expert said, of course, nothing inspires confidence now in the DOJ, right? But they're going, the fact that he's already been told he's a target is not usually a good sign, or that the FBI has already contacted. Normally, as you say, you complete the investigation first, right? So you go like, what are the chances in this politicized that only the Democrat will be right, won't be prosecuted?
Yeah, when I saw the early reports that there were 3 Republican senators and 1 Democrat, I thought, okay, well, they'll probably investigate the Democrat and completely give the Republicans a pass. But here's how it ordinarily happens when there are these questionable, potentially illegal stock trades, insider trading. First, the SEC will conduct basically a civil investigation. They don't prosecute people, but if they find enough evidence of criminal wrongdoing, they would then refer it over to the Department of Justice, and the FBI would pick up the criminal ball and start investigating. So when I saw that the FBI has already contacted Senator Burr, that to me makes no sense. That to me sounds like, you know what, we're just checking some boxes so we can say we're going to clear everybody, or we're finding no criminal conduct. Now, I do not credit Burr's explanation that I had all of this good, juicy insider information as a result of my position as a senator, but I didn't use any of it when I was deciding what stocks to buy and what stocks to dump. I only watched CNBC for that, even though I admit the information I had that was privileged, that was private, that was only available to me was relevant to what stocks I should buy and what stocks I should dump. I don't think there's a third grader that would fall for that.
Right.
The only question becomes, what do we do about it? Do we grab hold of it? Do we hold him accountable for profiteering off of our national health emergency, or do we give him a pass?
And I don't, Glenn, again, we're long again, but I don't know, but based on the preliminary information, it seems like the email thing, like Ukraine and the Bidens, Dianne Feinstein doesn't seem to be in the same category. First of all, she wasn't in the meeting where they got that information. And secondly, they lost money. They would have done the opposite thing stock-wise if she was, you know what I mean? But here we go again with both sides do it. And, this partisan DOJ, which is just a disgrace. But we'll see.
If we don't learn our lesson, Steph, if you're running for office, you've got to divest yourself from stocks. Period. That's not too much to ask. You want my vote. You want to represent my interest. Then you shouldn't have financial interests in the game. That's not too much to ask.
I have a new dream. July 27th, Washington, D.C. Sexy liberal with Glenn Kirschner. Let's put it on our bucket list.
Can't wait, Steph. And there's going to be an after party, yes?
Oh, yes.
Yes, there will.
Oh, yes. All right. Wear a cup. Okay. What? It's just we're all going to be needy after quarantine. I love you, Glenn Kirschner. Bye.
Thanks,
Love you,
Glenn.
Steph. Bye.